Mauris, Nu, what are you doing?
I was reading the Yiddish newspaper. Did you know that in the last 20 years, between 1900 and 1920, over 2.5 million Jews have come to America from Europe? And our little family of 6 was among them.
Of course I knew that. And it was even earlier than that when I traveled here alone, I'll have you know, in 1898 to visit my brother Yosef. America was a pretty wild place then. There were hardly any cars or electric lights.
Yes, Lina Lech. You've told me 1,000 times. A big macher. Very sophisticated. But why did you leave America to go back to Germany and then to Antwerp?
I don't know. I missed my family and my little town of Lisbon. So many cousins. And if I hadn't gone to Antwerp with my sister Anna, I would have never met you. And we wouldn't have had our 4 beautiful kinderen.
Don't forget baby Rachel.
Oi, gewollt! How could I forget Rachel? But her falling out of that high chair was just too much for me to handle. And I don't even have a picture of her. It's a good thing I had baby Sammy to take care of and our little boy Yaakov. Oh, I wish I got Mashidana.
And then we had little Izzy and Anna. So many children. It's a good thing we wrote their names in that little blue marriage booklet.
Yes, that is a very special little booklet. One day, I think I'll give it to Anna. And now we call her Hannah for safekeeping. The boys may lose it, and I'm sure our grandchildren and great-grandchildren will find it fascinating. I wonder what their world will be like. I'm very happy we brought them to America, the land of opportunity and freedom.
That is true. I'm so glad we got out of Europe before the Great War began in 1914. Even if we had to travel to Halifax, Nova Scotia, I had to work building that port at that shipyard. But if it weren't for the Canadian Railroad Company, we may never have made it out of Europe. They paid for our trip.
Yes, but that ship ride that we took from Rotterdam to Nova Scotia was very difficult, being in steerage and all. With Hannah only being a few months old and the boys all under 5 years old, we all got seasick. But we made it and soon left that little port with Nichols to come to New York.
But we had a hard start here. First, little Yossi died almost as soon as we arrived. And I got work as a shochet. I know it puts food on our table, but I really hate that job in the slaughterhouse. I much preferred being a milkman in Antwerp.
Well, I for one am glad to be in America, and I'm sure our children will do good here. I only wish our parents would have made it to this country. Unfortunately, your parents died back in Ukraine, and mine never made it out of Lisbon. I still remember our little house number 57, though my stepmother Sarah ended up with it when my father died back in 1908.
Now, Lina Lech, forget about that and the hard life as Jews had back in Europe. We are in America, in the biggest city in the world, and maybe someday our children will travel all over this country. Maybe they will end up in Ohio, or Pennsylvania, or even California, and Arizona, and maybe even Washington. Kinderach, come here. Help your mama get ready for Shabbos.
Oh, Moshe, you are such a dreamer. But that is why I married you. Now, it's time to get challah for Shabbos.
I want to make the dough for challah. I like being in the kitchen. Someday, I will have a family of my own and bake challah for them.
Let's go, everyone. Listen to Abba. I'll sweep the floor, but then I get to do the kiddush.
I'll go get some vegetables from Mr. Goldstein on the corner. One day, I'm going to own a grocery store. And if you're nice to me, I'll hire you and you can help me run it. I guess I have to set the table. Why do I always have to set the table? Ma, are we using the fleischish or milchish dishes this week?
Geek Shabbos, my beautiful Kinderla.